Welcome all of you. Today we will discuss about the topic Biot-Savart's law in our second unit magnetostatics. Here two scientists by name Biot and Savarts, they conducted various research works on the relation between electricity and magnetism. Here they have considered one current carrying conductor of some length L, and due to this current carrying conductor we need to find the magnetic field intensity H at a point P. So instead of considering the whole length at a time, first we will consider a differential length dl, and the current that is flowing in this conductor is I. Okay. So due to this differential length dl, what is the differential magnetic field intensity dH at this point P we are going to obtain with the help of Biot-Savart's law. Okay. So from this experiment, Biot and Savart proved that the differential magnetic field intensity dH bar at this point P, dH bar at this point P is directly proportional to the differential current element IDL. Okay, this differential magnetic field intensity dH is directly proportional to the product of the current and the differential length, which is called as differential current element. This is differential current element. Okay. Now they proved that this differential magnetic field intensity dH bar is directly proportional to the differential current element IDL. Next, this is the first observation they took. The second observation is the differential magnetic field intensity dH is also directly proportional to the sine of the angle between the line joining this point P and this differential length dl. Okay. So this dH bar is also proportional to the sine of the angle between the line joining this point P and the differential length dl. Now the third observation is that this differential magnetic field intensity dH is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. dH is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Now by clubbing all these 3 points, we can say that the differential magnetic field intensity dH at this point P is directly proportional to I dl sine theta by r square. Now if you remove this proportionality, you will get a constant 1 by 4 pi. So finally this differential magnetic field intensity at this point P is given as dH is equal to I dl sine theta by 4 pi r square. This is the formula for differential magnetic field intensity dH at a point P due to this differential length dl. Okay. Now if you want the complete magnetic field intensity H due to this complete length of the conductor, then we can simply integrate on both sides. Then we can get the total magnetic field intensity. This is the Biot-Savart's law, which states that dH is equal to IDL sine theta by 4 pi r square. Theta is the angle between the line joining the point P to the differential element and the dl. You can see that angle here. This is the magnitude of differential magnetic field intensity. Now if you want to show the direction, if you also want to consider the direction, then we should go for vector form of Biot-Savart's law. So vector form means all these will be as it is. Simply we will also include the direction, that's all. If we include the direction, then what is the formula for cross product of two vectors, A bar cross B bar? That is mod A mod B into sine theta into the unit vector in that direction. Now here you can observe, if I take the cross product for, if you observe here dl cross AR, if I take the cross product of this, then you can see mod dl into mod ar bar into sin theta. Okay, here you can clearly observe the magnitude of this dl, differential length, is simply dl. What is the magnitude of a unit vector? Unit vector magnitude is always 1 into sin theta. Now dl sin theta, in the place of this dl sin theta, can we write dl bar cross ar bar, so that a unit vector will be included and the direction of the differential magnetic field intensity can also be obtained. So from this we can say that the differential magnetic field intensity dH, the differential magnetic field dH is equal to I dl bar cross I dl bar cross ar bar, I dl bar cross ar bar by, simply in the place of this dl sin theta I have mentioned dl bar cross ar bar, because dl sin theta is nothing but equal to dl bar cross ar bar. So in the place of dl sin theta I am substituting dl bar cross ar bar, so that you can also know the direction of this magnetic field intensity, by 4 pi r square. So this shows the vector form of Biot-Savart's law. This is the vector form. Now if we completely mark all the directions of unit vector and everything, then the vector form can be further improved as, suppose I am taking the current carrying conductor like this. I am also considering a differential current element. Here if the current is I1, and your differential length is dl1, so that your complete differential current element is I1 dl1, and if you consider this as point 1, and at point 2 I need to find the magnetic field intensity. Here at point P or point number 2 I need to find the magnetic field intensity. I am joining this, and this is the angle theta. So this distance vector is r12, because it is the vector that is between point 1 and point 2, and the unit vector in this direction is ar12. Unit vector towards point P is ar12. Now if we include all these, then the vector form of Biot-Savart's law can be improved as, now dH2, differential magnetic field intensity at point 2 or point P, because we are finding the magnetic field intensity at point 2. So dH2 is equal to, what is the differential current element? I1 dl1 cross, what is the unit vector here? ar12 by 4 pi, what is the distance? r12 square, 4 pi r12 square. What is the unit for magnetic field intensity? Ampere per meter. Okay, ampere per meter. Now if you want to find the complete magnetic field intensity, then simply integrate on both sides, so that you will get the complete magnetic field intensity due to this whole length of the conductor, so that your H2 will be equal to integral I1 dl1 cross ar12 by 4 pi r12 square, amperes per meter. So this is the complete magnetic field intensity at point 2 due to the differential current element at point 1. This is the vector form of Biot-Savart's law. So let us summarize once again. What is the simple magnitude format of Biot-Savart's law? dH is equal to I dl sin theta by 4 pi r square. From this we can only get the magnitude, that's all. If you want both magnitude as well as direction in terms of unit vectors, then we can go for this formula. dH is equal to I1 dl1 cross ar2 by AR12 by 4 pi R12 square ampere per meter. So we should remember this formula in vector form. This is very important. Based on this, let us do one problem. I want to find the differential magnetic field intensity means nothing but DH. Find the differential magnetic field intensity at a point 0, 8, 0 due to a differential current element of 2 pi AZ micro ampere meter. Okay, so we need to find the differential magnetic field intensity DH at a point of 0, 8, 0 due to a differential current element of 2 pi AZ bar micro ampere meter at a point 6, 0, 0. So let us deal this problem. Now simply, what is the formula for differential magnetic field intensity in vector form? DH is equal to I1 dl1 cross AR12 by 4 pi R12 square. So let us draw that in a graph form. Where is the point 0, 8, 0? This is X, Y, Z. Now this is a point purely on Y axis. That means 0, 8, 0 is a point purely on Y axis. At this point, I need to find the differential magnetic field intensity. Now 6, 0, 0 is a point purely on X axis. At this point, they have given you one differential current element which is equal to 2 pi AZ bar micro ampere meter. Okay, so due to this differential current element at this point, we need to find the magnetic field intensity at this point. That means the direction will be towards your point P. This is the first point, this is the second point. So AR12, this is the unit vector in this direction. So first we need to find the distance vector R12. You are going towards the second point. So second point minus first point will give you the distance vector in this direction. That means 0 minus 6 is minus 6 AX bar plus 8 minus 0, 8 AY bar, 0 AZ bar. So what is the magnitude of this mod R12 is root 6 square plus 8 square. That means 36 plus 64 is root 100, 10. So what is the unit vector now? AR12 is equal to distance vector R12 by mod R12. If you substitute these values, your unit vector will be mod R12 means that is 10. What is R12? Minus 6 AX plus 8 AY. So AR12 is equal to minus 0.6 AX plus 0.8 AY. This is the unit vector. Now, what is the formula for differential magnetic field intensity? Differential magnetic field intensity at this second point DH2 is equal to I1 dl1 cross AR12 by 4 pi R12 square. Already we know the magnitude of this R12, that is equal to 10. Now we need to find AR12, that is this unit vector. If you substitute and find the cross product of this differential element, what is the differential element value? 2 pi AZ. So let us substitute all these value and find the differential magnetic field intensity. So DH2 is equal to, what is this I1 dl1? Differential current element is 2 pi AZ. 2 pi AZ cross, what is AR12? AR12 is minus 0.6 AX plus 0.8 AY by 4 pi What is R12 magnitude? That is 10 square. So to find the cross product of these two, the cross product can be obtained as, we are considering Cartesian system Ax, Ay and Az. What is the first vector? That is 2 pi Az. There is no x and y component in this first one, only z component is there, that is 2 pi. Next here minus 0.6 plus 0.8 and 0. If you find the determinant value for this, Ax into 0 minus 2 pi into 0.8 minus 0.6 into, if you take the determinant value, 2 pi into Ay minus 0. So this determinant value is minus 2 pi into 0.8 Ax minus 0.6 into 2 pi into Ay. Now if you substitute this value here, dH2 is equal to minus 2 pi, you take it as common, 0.8 Ax plus 0.6 Ay by 4 pi. What is R12? That is square. If you do the square, then it will become 100. You can solve this value and you can get the magnitude as well as direction for magnetic field intensity in terms of amperes per meter. This is one problem based on Biot-Savart's law. Okay. Next we will go for applications of Biot-Savart's law, where we will derive some expressions for magnetic field intensity due to a straight current carrying conductor of infinite length and finite length, and also due to a circular loop. So the first application of Biot-Savart's law is derivation of magnetic field intensity H due to a infinitely long straight current carrying conductor. Infinite long straight current carrying conductor. Okay. So first, what is meant by magnetic field intensity? Magnetic field intensity is H equal to Ni by L. Already we defined all those terms in our basics class. Infinitely long conductor means, let us take a current carrying conductor, straight current carrying conductor on Z axis. I am considering a infinitely long straight current carrying conductor on Z axis. So we have kept an infinitely long straight current carrying conductor which carries a current of I, and its limits are from minus infinity to plus infinity, because it is an infinitely long conductor. Now due to this current carrying conductor, I want to find the magnetic field intensity H at a point P which is on y axis. I am considering a point P on y axis and I want to find the magnetic field intensity H at this point P due to this current carrying conductor which is kept on Z axis. Instead of finding H due to the complete length, first take only a differential current element. For every derivation this is common. We will first consider only a small differential length, and after that we will integrate and find the complete intensity. Now consider a differential length element dl. Now due to this differential length dl, I want to find the magnetic field intensity at this point P. So I am marking the distance. This distance you are going towards the point P. That means the arrow mark should be like this. The distance vector is r12 and the unit vector is ar12 in this direction. Now let us take this distance as some r, and the unit vector in this direction is ar bar. Let us take this distance as z, and here the unit vector is az. So here what are the assumptions that we are taking? We are considering an infinitely long straight current carrying conductor placed on Z axis which carries a current I. I am considering only a differential length of dl, Due to this dl, I want to find the differential magnetic field intensity dH at this point P. So this is your second point and this is your first point. What is the differential current element here? IDL. This is the differential current element. Due to this differential current element, we will find the differential magnetic field intensity at this point P. Now, first we need to find the distance vector R12. R12 means it is the distance which is covered from point 1 to point 2. How we can go from point 1 to point 2? We can go like this towards this z-axis, and we can cover on the y-axis also. As your unit vector direction is upwards but your direction is going downwards, we should take minus z into az bar, plus here the direction is matching towards your point P, that is r into ar bar. This is the distance vector R12. Now find the magnitude of this. Mod R12 is equal to root over r square plus z square. So if you know both these values, can't you find the unit vector AR12? AR12 is equal to R12 by mod R12, which is equal to minus z az bar plus r ar bar by root over r square plus z square. So we have obtained the distance vectors and their magnitudes as well as unit vectors. Now what is the formula for differential magnetic field intensity at point 2 due to this differential length? dH2 is equal to I dl bar cross, what is the unit vector? AR12 by 4 pi R12 square. Okay. So here in the place of AR12 you can substitute this value, and mod R12, that magnitude of the distance is already root over r square plus z square. Substitute all these values. Now we need to find the cross product for this dl bar and AR12. Already we know AR12, and if we consider differential length dl, we can observe that this differential length dl is present on z-axis. So simply it will be equal to dz. As it is on z-axis, what is the unit vector in this direction? That is az. If you consider the complete current differential element, then that is I dz az bar. So in the place of dl, you substitute dz, that's all. So if you want to find dl bar cross AR12, simply take the determinant of, if you consider cylindrical coordinate system, AR, A5 and AZ. In cylindrical system, first which components are present here? In your dl, you are having only dz. So r and phi components are zeros. R and phi are zeros, and here you will be having dz. And what is the AR12? In AR12 you are having AR component and AZ component. So AR component is R, A5 component is not there, so 0, and this is minus Z. So if you find the determinant value for this, then you can obtain the dl bar cross AR12 bar. So take the determinant. AR if you take means it will become 0. 0 into this and 0. So 0, again minus 0, plus here R into leave this A5 into dz. A5 into dz minus 0. So this determinant value is simply R dz A5. So if you substitute this value here, then you can find the differential magnetic field intensity, that dH2 is equal to I into, what is dl bar cross AR12 bar? dl bar cross AR12 bar, that value is equal to R dz A5. R dz A5. Okay, divided by 4 pi 4 pi into, what is the distance? Magnitude of the distance is root over r square plus z square, root over r square plus z square whole square. And also for this unit vector ar12, you are having one more root over r square plus z square. Substitute that also, root over r square plus z square. Now if you further simplify this, the differential magnetic field intensity at the second point dH2 is I r dz a phi by 4 pi into r square plus z square whole power 3 by 2, because bases are same, powers will be added 1 plus, because if you take this root, what will happen? It will become to the power of 1 by 2. So 2 plus 1 by 2 means that is 3 by 2. Now to solve this expression, first let us consider this triangle, this right angle triangle. What are the values? This height is z and this value is r. So from this tan theta is equal to z by r, where z is equal to r tan theta. So from this, what is dz? dz is r. Differentiation of tan theta is secant square theta d theta. So in the place of dz, now what we can substitute? R secant square theta d theta. Okay. Now as you are changing this z in terms of theta, you should also change the limits. If you take z limits as minus infinity to plus infinity, if z is minus infinity, then theta is equal to minus pi by 2. If z is plus infinity, then theta will be plus pi by 2. If you substitute those expressions here, you can get the theta limits. Okay. After substituting these limits in this expression, this formula will be further improved as, now take that expression dH2, differential magnetic field intensity at this point 2. At this point 2 is given by dH2 is equal to I into r into, in the place of dz, what we can write? R secant square theta d theta into a phi divided by 4 pi into r square plus, in the place of z, what we can substitute? In the place of z, we can take r tan theta. So if you do square for that, r square tan square theta whole power 3 by 2. Now I r square secant square theta d theta a phi divided by 4 pi into, if I take r square as common, it will have to the power of 3 by 2. So that will become r cube into 1 plus tan square theta whole power 3 by 2. Already we know that 1 plus tan square theta is secant square theta. So on simplification, you will get r square and r cube means it will become by r 4 pi. It will become secant square theta by secant cube theta. That means 1 by secant theta, which is equal to cos theta d theta. So this is the differential magnetic field intensity at this point P. But if you want to find the complete magnetic field intensity due to this complete length, then that is H2 is equal to integral, theta limits are from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, I by 4 pi r integral cos theta d theta a phi. So here I by 4 pi r is constant, only integral cos theta d theta you need to do. Integral cos theta is sin theta. Substitute those limits, and if you cancel all those terms, then your final magnetic field intensity due to this infinitely long current carrying conductor is equal to I by 2 pi r into a phi amperes per meter. So the magnetic field intensity H in vector form due to this infinitely long current carrying conductor is equal to I by 2 pi r into a phi amperes per meter. This formula is very important. We will also solve some problems based on this formula also. So what is the final formula for magnetic field intensity due to an infinitely long conductor? That is equal to, your final formula is H equal to I by 2 pi r into A phi amperes per meter, which is very important formula. We should remember it throughout this unit. This is the first application of Biot-Savart's law. The second application is, we need to find the magnetic field intensity H due to a straight conductor of some finite length. That means now we know the length of that conductor, H bar, due to a finite length of conductor. Here also we will use the same derivation analysis. Just here, instead of saying infinite length, just we will fix some values for that length. So consider a long straight current carrying conductor on z-axis. Again same assumptions. Take this as y-axis. This is x and this is z. So on this z-axis I am placing a conductor of a finite length. That means we can say the length of that conductor. Let it be some z1 is the first limit of that conductor and z2 is the second limit of that conductor. This is a conductor of finite length. Now due to this conductor of finite length, I want to find the magnetic field intensity at a point P on y-axis. Due to this finite conductor, I want to find the magnetic field intensity at this point. So again consider the same analysis. Take a differential length dl and the current that is carried by this is I. So the total differential current is I dl. Okay. So the length from this differential length dl bar to this point P is, again mark it as r12. So the distance vector is r12 bar and the unit vector in this direction is ar12. Same assumptions as we have derived from the previous one. But one more assumption that we are taking is, from the first limit z1 you plot the distance towards the point P, and also from the second limit z2 also you plot one point towards this P, so that it will be easy for our derivation. So this distance is r12 bar and this vector is ar12. Here our main consideration is this center line only, from dl bar to this point P. So let us mark the angles. Here the angle is alpha 1, here the angle is alpha, and here the angle is alpha 2. Okay, towards your first finite length value z1, take it as alpha 1, and at the differential length you mark this angle as alpha, and here you take it as alpha 2. So again the same differential length dl, take this height as some z. So if you want to go from this first point to second point, I want to find the magnetic field intensity at second point P. Okay, if I want to go like this, I should cover this z-axis to origin and from origin to this point P. That means you are going in opposite direction of z. So you can take minus z into az bar. Here let us take this distance as r and the unit vector is ar bar. So plus r into ar bar. This is your distance vector r12. The distance vector r12 is given like that. And as you are taking this differential length dl on z-axis, so dl will be equal to dz only. Idl means idz. As it is in z direction, you can take az bar. Okay. So mod R12, what is mod R12? That is root over R square plus Z square. So now the unit vector AR12, this unit vector AR12 can be calculated as minus Z AZ bar plus R AR bar by root over R square plus Z square. So we have calculated the distance vector R12 bar, unit vector AR12 bar. So substitute that in your Biot-Savart's law formula, which is equal to dH2 is equal to IDL bar cross AR12 bar by 4 pi R12 square. Okay. So here already we know the magnitude of R12. Simply if we find DL bar cross AR12 bar value, we can get the value of magnetic field intensity. So let us find the DL bar cross AR12 bar. Find the determinant. Take the cylindrical system AR, A5 and AZ. So what is the differential length DL? That is DZ. So only Z component is there. R and phi components are zeros. DZ. So what is AR12? AR12 components are R, phi component is not there, 0, and Z component is minus Z. So if you solve the determinant value for this, so AR into 0 minus 0 plus R into dz into A5 minus 0. dz into A5 minus 0. So finally your determinant value is R dz into A5. R dz A5. So if you substitute this DL bar cross AR bar value in this formula, then we can find the differential magnetic field intensity at this point P. So let us substitute those values. So take dH2 is equal to I into, in the place of DL cross AR, what I can substitute? R dz A5 divided by 4 pi into R12 square, 4 pi R12 square, that is R12 magnitude is already root over R square plus Z square. So root over R square plus Z square whole square into, already for this AR12 you are having one more root over R square plus Z square in the denominator. So you also substitute that R square plus Z square. So here if you simplify this, I R dz A5 divided by 4 pi into, if you solve this, R square plus Z square whole power 3 by 2. Now if you take the right angle triangle with this angle alpha from differential length DL, if you take this right angle triangle, then consider the right angle triangle whose angle is with alpha. That means this part. This part if you consider, then what is the distance opposite to alpha? That is R, and this distance with alpha is Z. So from this, what is tan alpha? Tan alpha is equal to R by Z, where Z is equal to R cot alpha. So from this we can write dz is equal to R into minus cosecant square, because differentiation of cot is minus cosecant square alpha d alpha. Okay. Now in the place of dz, what we can substitute? Minus R cosecant square alpha d alpha. And in the place of Z we can substitute R cot alpha. So substitute all these expressions in these formulas. So dH, differential magnetic field intensity at this second point P, is equal to I R into, in the place of dz I am substituting minus R cosecant square alpha d alpha into A5 divided by 4 pi into R square plus In the place of Z, what we can take? In the place of Z, R cot alpha, that is R square cot square whole power 3 by 2. Already, if we take this R square as common, R square whole power 3 by 2 means you will get R cube, and 1 plus cot square means cosecant square. Here we will get 4 pi into R cube into cosecant cube alpha. If you solve those powers, you will get cosecant square alpha whole power 3 by 2, which is equal to cube, cosecant cube alpha. Now minus I into, if you cancel this R square term, you will get 4 pi R, and what is 1 by cosecant alpha? That is sin alpha. Sin alpha d alpha. This is differential magnetic field intensity dH at this second point P. Suppose if you want to find the complete magnetic field intensity H2 at this point P due to this complete length of the conductor, then simply integrate this expression. Integrate this expression where the first term will be a constant minus I by 4 pi R, and integral of sin alpha d alpha, where the limits are from alpha 1 to alpha 2. Your angle limits are from alpha 1 to alpha 2. So if you solve this and if you find the complete expression, then your magnetic field intensity at this point P due to this finite length of conductor is I by 4 pi R into cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 ampere per meter. This formula is very important. The magnetic field intensity H at this point P due to a finite length of conductor is I by 4 pi R cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 ampere per meter.